Hans, please describe to us MCC.
So MCC, or mobile clinical computing, is really about facilitating access to information for clinicians and nurses in hospital care. So it's really about saying, well, let's give clinicians access to information where they need it, when they're with the patient. We don't want clinicians to have to spend time looking for the right PC, looking for the right application, when they really need to be spending time with the patient. So it's really for them to go up to the device, very simply log on, get the information they need, and then obviously spend time, quality time with the patient. Some of the key functionality we're delivering in the solution are things like single sign-on, to make sure that if you have 10, 20 different applications, you only log on once and then have access to everything you need. There's also things like session mobility, giving you the ability to move from your office, say, onto the patient's bedside, get a cart on wheels, log into the application, and then move all the different sessions you were looking at your desktop in your office with you to share with the patient, and then discuss the best treat of care. One of the final things that are one of the big benefits are things like location awareness. So the ability for me as a clinician to log on in A&E, for example, I'll automatically get the A&E application popping up. If I'm in radiology, I'll automatically get the PACS application, and if I'm in my office, maybe I'll get my Microsoft Outlook popping up, just as an example. But really trying to make it as simple as possible for our clinicians and nurses to access information, and really, like I said, spend as much of the time they have with the patient and not waste time on IT.
Nigel, how are you making sure that the solution does what it is supposed to do?
Okay, we're undertaking a pilot with 11 hospitals across Europe, 3 of which are in the UK, and as part of working in that environment, we're actually engaging with the clinical leads that work in each department so that we can understand the particular applications that they use, the style of work that they've got, so that we can develop the architecture and the solution to best meet that.
Hans, how do you measure the benefits?
Nigel spoke to us a little bit about the pilot, and I think one of the very important aspects for us is really to understand that it is actually adding value to clinicians as well as patients. So alongside the pilots in the 6 countries, we've been running a methodology from Gartner Business Value of IT. We had an independent company to undertake the research into actually understanding that we are adding value, that it does make a difference. So initially we analysed the clinical workflows, so we had different clinical settings. So Nigel mentioned that we were working with clinical leads, so really understanding how does a nurse move through, say, this outpatient department, how does a patient move through, how does a clinician move through, and how can we then apply the technology that's part of MCC to get the best out of the solution. The measurement was then around, well, how has this helped clinicians to be more efficient, how has it helped things like patient safety, and obviously getting patients quicker through the hospital, but also absolutely better through and providing better care. We will be publishing some of those results later on this year in a white paper, and they'll be made available on our website.